John, it was a pretty stiff challenge there through the second quarter, start of the third, but had to see that you were getting on top and run away there.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, they were in really good form. Yeah, we looked at their numbers during the week and early in the week, and they showed that they were in all parts of the game that's really important. They were really rated highly, and they were so they're a talented team that was working hard, and they're always a big threat. And so to be able to come out today and do what we did was outstanding. I mean, they were going to get a bit of time and space at different times, and they were able to do that. But for us to limit their period of momentum to one quarter was pleasing. We dropped away a little bit, which maybe helped that. But the other three quarters, I thought we were, around the ball, around the pressure, and then defensively really strong and sound. And that's the main thing that we looked at.
Was there even more emphasis than usual on making a fast start, coming out of a bye in particular, which hasn't always
every week? No, every week it's a fast batting. You want to start well, but no, it's not. It was just making sure we get. You don't look at that. You look at the making sure that when the opposition have got the ball, you work really hard and pressure them when the ball's in 50-50 situations. It's pretty simple, but it's easier said than done, and you're going to need to keep applying yourself to it. And our ability to stop them transitioning the ball today was outstanding. Our defensive setup and our pressure around the footy was great.
How important was it in that second quarter, even though you guys went goalless, that you really limited Gold Coast's ability to hit the scoreboard and you still held that lead going into half?
Yeah, it was important. They had their momentum, they had their tails up, but they weren't able to put six on us, and that's important. Our defenders did a good job and were able to sort of withstand that for a period, and that does make a difference, yeah. And then we got back on top around the ball, and I just keep on getting back to what we did around the ball, but then off the ball defensively was really strong.
John, first of all, how's Nick Blakey? How did he pull up after today, and how pleased were you with his performance?
Well, I don't know how he's pulled up after today, because it's not after today just yet, because he played the last quarter. Yeah, I mean I don't know. He's actually. I quickly walked past him. I said, "How are you?" He said, "Good," and so that was it. So I don't really know. He was able to keep playing, which is a good sign. I think it was an old ankle that he sort of injury that he might have flared up a bit, but hopefully he's okay. I really won't know until tomorrow. The good thing was he was able to keep playing.
That forward 50 pressure felt like it was really back. Tackles inside 50 up early. I think 10 goals off turnovers. That must be a really pleasing statistic to look back on and go that we generated that pressure from.
Yeah. You sort of your pressure around the ball, and we're at the source, and particularly if your forwards are able to put that pressure on and restrict their ability to intercept markers. They're a really quality intercept marking team. We're able to bring the ball to ground and then allows you to if our mids and our forward, our front line, our midline get set right, then your defenders can work as well, and that's important. It's all related to each other, and we got that right more times than not.
Wixie back in the side, and that's something he brings. Obviously, he got a couple of goals, which was great to see, but that's something that he probably hangs his hat on even more, bringing that pressure.
Yeah, he does. I mean, I don't know who had the forward tackles for us, but I think we had 14 or something forward pressure tackles. But I think we just switched on defensively and around the contest, which helps us.
John, what was maybe one or two things that you really felt made a huge difference from the previous two rounds in terms of the Sydney team that came out today and played so well?
Pressure and defence. Very simple, and if you get those parts of your game right, generally you earn the right to do other things, but you've got to get that right first.
Brody Grundy's 200th today. Can you talk a bit about, I guess, his impact in his short time at the club?
Yeah, he's been real quality. He gives us a different feel, and on and off the field, he's been fantastic. He's really fitted in so well. I thought he was terrific today. His presence around the ball, his pressure, his 15 contested possessions. I think he was our highest tackling player at one stage. Is that right? Yeah, highest tackling player. So if he's putting on enormous pressure and he's staying around the contest, he gives you another ground level player, and at that size, and that's so important. They've got some quality mids, and so he played a key role for us.
When that arm wrestle's so close and the crowd's feeling a little bit nervous as well, how important is a moment like Tom Papley, that marking goal in the third, when he's almost parallel with the ground and he gets everyone going, and it kind of opened the floodgates a bit in terms of getting some of those goals late in the third?
Yeah, it's, we're still learning as a team. We've had our 3 captains from last year play a combined total of 5 games, all of them for the year. Ramps is the only one that's played, and so we're learning to keep playing good footy at different times when we get challenged. And generally, I think we're doing a pretty good job of it. And perhaps played some important moments, particularly defensively, but then kicked that important goal. But I think we're learning well, but we're still learning, and that's a good sign. It's the ability to be able to keep getting better and keep learning.
Taylor Adams was another one that set the tone early, especially, and gave you a sense of what you brought him across for, I guess.
Yeah, through his first quarter, he was really busy. He was putting enormous heat on around the footy, and that's that's what we know he can do. And whether that's half forward or midfield, he gives us another flavour, another player that gets after him, and he was certainly helped us get off to a good start.
John, Sunday afternoon, over 35,000 fans today who were really up and about. How much did it mean to the players and you guys to get back home and show what the side can really do?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was nearly 30. Was it 36?
Over 35?
Was it? Yeah. I mean, it was sort of unbelievable. It was fantastic, to be able to be away from home for a month almost, and then we need to get the momentum coming back to the game, and to be able to come today and look out and see so many people here and have such a big crowd was awesome for the players. I loved it. They really feed off our supporters, our fans that turn up, and they really appreciate that when they run out and they see a big crowd like that. And I don't know whether any of us expected it to be that big, and that's a great thrill for the players, and great for the footy club, and hopefully the fans sort of get a good feeling when they leave the game and want to keep coming back.
Foxy looked like he transitioned back into defence a little bit more today. Is that something that might be a bit more long-term, or is that just a week-by-week thing?
We're a bit mindful with Ramps out at the moment, so Foxy can play tall and small, and so just until we get Dane back, Foxy's been good for us forward. But the good thing about Robbie is he's able to play at both ends. He can play on the wing, he can play anywhere really. So we just thought that for this week that was important. It may change. It'll probably certainly change, I think, when Ramps comes back. But at the moment, it just seemed to fit today.
And just Parks and Ramps, any chance for Hawthorn next week? Are they both tracking?
They're training well. Parks will be just a surgeon's call, so it's the surgeon will make that decision. I'm not sure what he's... And Ramps is running and doing all that, but I guess it'll just get back down to this week what it looks like. We'd love to have them back into the team sooner rather than later. Parksy's been out for a long time, all year, and Ramps has missed a couple. So we'll see how they pull up during the week and make a decision. We don't want to rush them, but we need them. We'd like them back in the team at some point.
And Tommy Mack he had his knee strapped up a little bit, but obviously came back on. That looks all good.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, he came back on and kept playing, so hopefully his knee's okay. Yeah.
Obviously, there are some key injuries, but the depth of the Swans looks phenomenal. How pleased have you been, and have you been surprised at how well people have stepped up?
It's probably been the key players that we've been missing for a significant amount of time. Like those 3 leaders have been pretty important players for us for a long time, and but I'm hoping that the reliance on those players, which is a good thing, helps the baton gets passed to that next generation of players. And a large part of our team now are 23, 24 and under, and that's a good thing for the now, hopefully, and good thing for the future. So, but we're going to learn. It's not going to be, we're just going to keep learning about it. And we learned today again. We were challenged and we stood up, and we learned what's important to us every week, and hopefully that continues.
Couple more.